chill spot.
Now here you go again. You say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to drag you down?
Yeah, I know the words.
It's alright.
Yeah, Sam, you are very good at singing.
You feel it. Do you like hate when I do these like musical ass intros?
No, it's just like, I mean, I just don't want people to
Get used to it and expect it all
turn
the
off
time?
the podcast.
Red for filth on my own podcast.
Do you think there's a drag podcast
Fuck
called Red for Filth?
you.
All right, never mind.
Welcome back to the Chill Spot
Yeah.
Podcast, everybody. This will be my last episode.
Yeah, really.
I am stepping down as co-host and co-founder after approximately a year and a half of success. I'm stepping down due to creative differences. I wish Cameron nothing but the best. And by the best, I mean a quick death as opposed to a slow and a painful one.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll go on to have like Twitter drama for like the next 2 years.
But I still wish you the best all the time.
Right? You know, like there's like people will start like dissecting my tweets and like your tweets, you know, like, was this a subtle jab? You know?
Yeah. I'll pull like a Justin Timberlake and like put a obvious clone of you in a music video, and then when I get asked about it, be like, oh no, it's not him. I wish him the best, you know. I wish him the best. I'm just doing my own thing right now, and I just hope nothing but the best for Cameron.
Yeah.
You know? It's just art. It's just art.
Yeah.
Even though it's clearly like,
it's very clearly some vitriol there.
Yeah.
And then like you or like one of us ends up being like slightly more successful than the other in terms of like how they get it off the ground, you know?
Yeah.
Well, if we were to split
One
up,
of us.
like you would take the friends, you would
One
take the
of us.
family, you would take the fans, you would get all that. Like
Yeah.
I would be left with nothing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so.
You'd have to start from the bottom.
No, I'd probably just die or something.
Sure. I was going to say you could have like a cool underdog moment where like 15 years later you come out with a project that is like so renowned and like so good. And I'm doing like one of the better reality TV shows. Like maybe I do like a RuPaul's Drag Race thing where it's like a respected competition reality show.
Right.
And I've like established myself after years, but then you come out with like an Oscar nominated film.
Right,
And you
right.
like win like best screenplay out of the gate. Not best director, not best actor, but like best screenplay. Very respectable.
It's a good first Oscar to
Not
get.
everybody knows the screenwriters, but like it's an award that I really like to see who wins each year.
Right.
Those who are in the industry and those who like care about that kind of thing. So it's like it's a good Oscar to win. It's a good Oscar to win. It's not the Oscar, but it's a good one.
Yeah, because I mean, like even amongst the Academy Awards, like there's Oscars that are like a little better than others. You know? Like,
Come on. Can we just like blow this out of the water and just like say it out loud? Like I personally am not down for it, but it's like the Academy Awards decide that when they don't air certain awards.
yeah.
They're like, oh no, like if you win an Oscar, like it's an Oscar, but it's like, okay, then air them all then.
Right.
Coward.
Yeah.
Coward.
I mean, they don't even air the Tonys at all anymore.
Yeah.
They don't. That's the whole ceremony. They're just
Yeah.
like, fuck it, whatever.
Although we talked about awards in a previous episode,
Yeah.
and it's just like, I just think like have your awards, but like you don't have to air them.
Well, I
They
guess
don't have to be public.
with the Tonys now, like they really are just industry awards. Now.
Yeah.
Like it really is because it's not televised.
And
so.
yeah, I don't think it takes away from the significance of winning a Tony Award.
No,
It's just like,
definitely
hey,
not.
this shit only matters to theater people,
Yeah.
thespians, and like people in the theater industry, and that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm fine
You know,
with that.
speaking of Academy Award winning films, they announced the cast of the Mario movie yesterday, and boy oh boy, can we just agree that none of us saw that coming?
Oh man, you really are the king of transitions.
What can I
Cam.
say? That's not what we're talking about today. Well,
No.
I'll do my subtle transition
No,
later.
you're getting a double transition episode
Exactly,
today, everybody.
exactly.
So strap in.
But yeah, so the internet's on fire lately. For those who don't know, they announced the cast of Illumination's Mario movie. For those who don't know, Illumination is the animation studio behind Despicable Me and the Sing movies.
Yes.
Despicable Me, of course, is a movie people go back and forth on because of the Minions.
Yeah. Well, like everybody loved the first one. The first one was so great.
And then they made 100 of them, and now I'm done. I'm done.
And now they're just like milking the Minions cow.
Because Illumination, like Minions, is like Illumination's like mascot now.
Yeah.
Like they know this and they use them, you know.
Yeah.
And then Sing is a pretty good movie.
I've heard it's underrated.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like it has a bunch of great actors in that I like, and they all do good performances, and that's great. You know. I think it's a great
animation studio.
It is. I mean, okay, here's the thing with Sing's animation style, in my opinion, is that like, I don't know how to describe this. And for the people in the industry that ever hear this, I'm probably not going to make any sense with what I'm about to say. But like, Sing's animation is very, I find the art style at times to be like okay to ugly. But it sits in that zone. Like I wouldn't necessarily call them pretty movies, but like they're not poorly animated though.
Okay.
They're very expressive when they move, and it's all quite colorful. I just find the character designs to leave a little to be desired. So like, I don't know.
Would you say maybe they're like flat?
A little bit.
Like a little two-dimensional?
They also just move, like all of their, like, I don't know how to describe it, but they almost like every character moves in like this like really smooth 60 frames a second. And it just looks very unnatural. Like it's I find some of their movies to be kind of jarring to look at.
I just have this thing as like HD becomes more and more of a thing. There is such a thing as too much HD.
Yeah.
I need a little less HD than what's around right now.
Lower the definition, please.
Yeah.
Take it down.
There's just some HD, like I don't know how to describe it, but it looks like the background is on like a steady cam. You know when you see like steady cam footage and everything just moves like really, really smoothly, but then like you've got a subject, like an animal or a person who is like moving around like a person, but the HD background is just like so steady and so good.
Yeah, it's like,
and I'm like, this is like, I respect the work that went into this, but this is unnerving to watch. This is weird.
It's because stabilization is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because
nothing is that stable.
I was just about to say, life isn't stable. So when something is perfect, it can come off as unnerving.
Yeah.
Like you didn't see the It movies, right? The new It movies?
No, I didn't.
So there's a scene in the first It movie where Pennywise shows up and he's doing this like dance. He's like pumping his arms like this and he's kicking his legs out to the side.
Yeah,
you know that dance? Like
the
clown dance.
Yeah.
But what they did is that the background is really shaky, but they stabilized his head. So it's really like his head is just like not moving and it's the focus, but the screen's going crazy. Like, and like
cool for a horror movie.
Well, that was effective because it's unnerving. It's on purpose. Like, you know what I mean? But when you use it as like a general film thing, it's like, well, yeah, no wonder people left the movie like that was kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Like, like I just, you know, like I think, and now correct me if I'm wrong, audience, but I think they filmed the Hobbit movies in like 60 frames a second, or like tried to experiment with 60 frames a second.
I don't remember. The Hobbit movies are such a blur for me.
I mean, I
saw them all.
You know, I've never even finished Lord of the Rings.
It's fine.
I mean, I want to.
From my perspective, like, it's fine.
I've seen the first 2.5 movies. I literally have to watch the second half of the third movie.
Wow.
Yeah, and I just never got around to it.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, the second half of Return of the King is just like really, really fucking good action.
I mean,
scenes.
I've heard it's like the best of the whole thing. I literally haven't seen the part that everybody likes.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the Lord of the Rings. Like,
yeah,
it's great.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that as far as Middle Earth goes, like Middle Earth really set the bar for fantasy. You know, I mean, it's fucking Tolkien. You know, guy knew what he was doing. Yeah,
yeah.
You know.
So does Peter Jackson. For what it's worth. Yeah.
Peter Jackson. Like I saw like some people talking about this on Twitter, where it's like so I think Amazon is doing a Lord of the Rings show now. They're gonna do like a series based in Middle Earth, and apparently they had to call in the old like. I'm not going to get the terms right, but they had to call people in who worked on the movies in to consult for the series so they can get the image right. And people were talking about on Twitter about how it's like, oh, well, so we can expect the Amazon show to look just like the Peter Jackson movies because Peter Jackson nailed Middle Earth. And any other interpretation is just going to come off as flat because like he just did that good of a job.
Yeah.
Right. And people were kind of like divided on that because on one hand, we have this interpretation already.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if it's not done right, it's not going to be good.
See, this is where I get to the point where I'm like, if you have to do this much work, maybe it's not worth rebooting.
Just do another thing.
And maybe go watch the movies. Go watch the movies again.
Yeah.
You obviously think that it's perfect and you're not going to be satisfied with anything else. Go watch the movies again.
Yeah, really.
It's not going to get any better. Just watch the movie. Just be satisfied with what you have. What you have is fantastic. Nobody complains about... I haven't heard a single complaint from any Tolkien fan that I know about the Lord of the Rings movies.
Even the Hobbit movies. People are pretty divided on them, but like if you watch them together as like one movie effectively, like it's good.
Yeah. So like just leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Just leave it alone. If you want to make a Silmarillion movie, whatever. Like it's a new thing, fine. If you want to take another Tolkien story, whatever. But like stop touching the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. It's done. We did it.
We did it.
Like it's done.
I mean, Sam, you see, you're forgetting is that when
also
people
had the definitive guy who you are happy with making Tolkien content in Peter Jackson. Continue.
When people eat junk food, they don't go, that was a good slice of cake, I don't want cake anymore. They go, I want to keep eating cake till I throw up. So we got The Lord of the Rings, we got 3 4-hour movies, and then The Hobbits, which is 3 3-hour movies with the director's cuts. I'm talking about the director's cuts. And then now we're going to have the Amazon Prime shows, which aren't going to be 4 hours, I would imagine. Maybe like 6 hours in total.
Yeah.
But like, people just want to gorge themselves on something, right?
Yeah.
And you know what it is? Like, we talked about this a little bit in our episode of Nostalgia, but like, people are so hung up on nostalgia to the point where it's like a poison. Yeah. Where it's like, people want something new, but they don't want something too new.
Yeah.
They want something that tastes different, but is familiar at the same time.
It's like that Spirited Away marketplace where it's like, you're so... You get so obsessed with the food that before you know it, you're a fucking pig.
Yeah, you get fucking turned into a pig.
Yeah.
Chopped up into bacon.
Yeah.
Eaten by No Face. Which, like, fair. I want to die that way. You ever seen the food in Spirited Away? That shit looks amazing.
I know.
I want to eat it.
I would happily die
I love
by
that
that
movie.
food.
It's a very good movie.
That's just my metaphor for it. It's just like you're so gluttonous and you gorge yourself and gorge yourself and gorge yourself on this subject matter that you look like a different creature when you're like frothing at the mouth, like talking about this new Hobbit show. It's like, just be satisfied with what you have. You have excellent. Peter Jackson worked so hard, you know, to do right by this IP. And he did it, you know, for better or for worse. People are generally very happy with his work with Tolkien's properties.
He took Middle Earth and brought it to the screen, and it's the definitive. Yeah. When people do Middle Earth art now, it's actually based on the movie as opposed to like the original illustrations.
Work. It transcends. It will last. He established a dynasty for Lord of the Rings. People are going to be looking to this material for years to come. Why do you need an Amazon series?
Because they want to make money.
Why do you need an Amazon series?
That's the short answer.
Whatever, man. Yeah. Whatever, man. It's not how I don't even care that much about Lord of the Rings. I'm not a huge Tolkien fan, but I just feel like, and I feel the same way about Harry Potter too, with like they just announced a new fucking Fantastic Beasts movie. And I want to throw up.
The Tales of Dumbledore, or the fuck it's called.
Yeah, and it's just like, stop. Just stop.
I just think they should
bloated, you know?
They should drop the Fantastic Beasts moniker. Like, I don't get why it's a part of the Fantastic Beasts series.
You know?
Just... Especially because, have you noticed, and we'll move on to what we're talking about in a minute, but have you noticed that, like, some movie series shoot themselves in the foot, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, Fantastic Beasts should have been one movie.
Yeah.
And then they should have made another movie called The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Yeah.
And then a third one called the Gay Butt of Dumbledore, like whatever the fuck it's called, right?
Yeah.
Like, they should have just done that. Have you noticed that they make the Fantastic Beasts moniker like this big
like
in the logo
smaller,
now?
Yeah, it gets like smaller and
because
smaller.
Because it has to technically be called that, but they also don't want it to be a part of the marketing. They did the same thing, and I say this all the time, they did the same thing with How to Train Your Dragon. You'll notice that like the How to Train Your... It's like really, it's like this big. And then it's just called like Dragon! You want to go see Dragon 2? How about Dragon 3?
Right.
They do this.
Because he trained his dragon.
It's been
The dragon is trained.
Yeah.
The dragon has been trained.
Because if I'm not mistaken, because like those are another series based off a children's book.
I think so, yeah.
But they're like children's books, like big fucking pages and pictures, like, you know, like hardcore children's books.
Like children's novels.
And I'm pretty sure the first one is called How to Train Your Dragon. And the second and third one are not called How to Train. They're just called something else.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, fuck, we can't just like... People aren't going to realize that it's a sequel to the first one if we call it something completely different. Yeah. When it's a part of a series, it has to have the series name in it. I mean, I personally disagree. Which is like hard
because How to Train Your Dragon is so long.
Well, that's just it. It's a sentence.
Yeah. You have to cram it all. It's like How to Train Your Dragon. How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
How to Train Your Dragon. It's like, it reminds me of this Golden Girls joke where Sophia and Rose started a business selling sandwiches to construction workers on their lunch breaks.
Right.
And they were like competing with like food vendors to do it. And they were selling these like bacon, lettuce, and tomato, these BLT sandwiches, but they ran out of tomato, so they started using potato.
Oh, gross.
And Rose was like, but how are we gonna like tell them what the sandwich is without bold-faced lying? And Sophia was like, just say it really fast. Bacon, lettuce, potato. Bacon, lettuce, potato.
Yeah, you just pull a fast one on people. Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, How to Train Your Dragon.
It's How to Train Your Dragon. You just gotta like emphasize the dragon.
Yeah.
And that's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know?
Totally.
We were talking about Spirited Away,
Yeah.
right? Which is a good movie.
Yes.
Everybody likes Spirited Away. It's one of the
Yes.
best animated movies ever made.
Yes.
When she crosses the bridge, she enters a dreamlike world,
Okay.
which is what we're talking about today. When you close
Not your best.
well, I mean, you're the one who brought it so fucking far away from Spirited Away. I wanted to transition right there.
You could say, but making these movies was a dream for everyone involved. And dreams are what we're going to be talking about today.
Like that was any better.
It was a little bit better.
Fuck off.
It was a little bit better.
You're full of poop. But we're talking about dreams today.
Yeah.
Not the dreams you have when you're awake, like I want to be a millionaire or I'd love to own a 1-bedroom apartment with a bathroom that's not in the kitchen. No, we're talking about dreams where you close your eyes and go to sleep and you get whisked off to mind world.
Yeah.
Do you have lots of dreams?
I know you deliberately just said we are not talking about daydreams, but I daydream way more than I dream.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, but no, what I meant just now is like dreams as in like dreams and aspirations.
Oh, okay, like goals.
Yes.
Okay.
No, daydreams, that's another thing. Like, we can talk about, we can start off with that. Like, okay, when you daydream, what do you mean?
I often... So, I have the talk show host daydream.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where you're talking to like Jimmy Fallon or like Steve Colbert or something.
Yeah, but I actually dream about like being a famous actress and like going on Jimmy Fallon and like what I would say.
Right.
Like oftentimes I'll watch like a clip of like of somebody on a late night talk show and like how they're doing it, and I'd like daydream about like what I would do or the kind of rapport I would have with the host if I were on that show, and what would I be there to promote, and what would I be wearing, and what kind of games would I play if I were on Jimmy Fallon, you know?
Right.
Would I do Wheel of Opinions? Would I do like that like instrument game that he plays with celebrities sometimes, or like he gets a bunch of weird instruments, you have to try and like play them with like a simple song. Like he'll make you play like row your boat on like an auto harp that you've never touched before.
Sure.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
That's
I love that
interesting.
stuff. Yeah.
Because I do something similar actually. Like it's kind of weird. Like maybe I'm just broken, but like I'll sometimes use that framework to help me think.
Yeah.
Like it's like if a host was to pose a question to me,
yes.
It's a question that I'm thinking about, and then I'll say it to myself in my head as if I'm on a talk show, which helps me, discombobulate my thoughts and get them into a clear, concise thought.
Yeah, kind of like that trick of like, read an email out loud to yourself before you send it to get an idea of like how it sounds to the person reading it.
Fucking gimp-lipped idiot.
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
See, I'll do daydreaming, honestly. I'll do daydreaming when I'm stoned. Get stoned, sit back, daydream a little bit.
Like disassociate and just daydream.
Live the fantasy a little bit.
No, I mean like it's one of the biggest things that made me think I have ADHD sometimes, because I really can just like stare at a wall and like let my mind run wild.
Oh, there's been times
it's like not good when I have work to do.
Oh yeah, I mean there's been times like we'll sit together for like chill spot days. I'll be, you ready? And like I know you're in a state when you go, yeah. I'm like, are you okay? You're like, yeah.
And I'm literally in a dreamlike state.
Yeah, like
eyes unfocused.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, we have to get working. And you're like, okay, let's go. And you look at your phone and type for like 10 straight minutes. And you start playing Gardenscapes. And I'm like, we have to fucking work. Like, what are you doing? But anyway, we'll have more topics just in a minute. We'll be right back.
Be right back.
Do you want to stay updated on everything ChillSpot, from our Twitch stream schedules to posts about new videos? Be sure to follow us on social media at ChillSpot Show on Instagram and Twitter. Back to the podcast.
So yeah, not like super big on dreams, but daydreams are my shit.
Yeah,
I have
definitely.
the best daydreams in the world.
Yeah, I don't really daydream often, but like I mentioned, like when I'm in a state, if I'm like, smoke a little weed, thinking about like things I want to do, like things that make me excited, like I'll daydream a little bit and daydream about that kind of thing. But in terms of night dreams, like I'll be honest with you, as a pot smoker, I tend to not have too many dreams anymore. which is actually a symptom of like when you smoke marijuana often, you tend to have less dreams. But then like on nights, I sound like I smoke like every single day, and then it's like, you know, if I go with like a 2-3 day streak where I just don't smoke, the dreams will come back. I often have the most vivid dreams, like, and I think this is it has to do with what happens. But if I wake up in the morning and go back to sleep, that half an hour will be some like really vivid, really bizarre dreams.
Intense.
Very
dreams.
intense.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, do you think that all dreams mean something?
No.
Neither do I.
No.
Because like, you know, there's a big conversation online generally about like, what's it, dreamology or whatever the fuck, like the study of dreams, the idea that like dreams, you know, come from your subconscious. So like, logically speaking, your dreams would have some sort of meaning to them. And I don't think that's flawed. But as many dreams that I've had about like someone I really miss or someone that I have like a fight with, I've also had dreams where I'm a tiger or I'm on a golf course and get attacked by an alligator, right? Like, it's like am I like, what's the alligator dream mean, right? Like, well, you see, when you were spanked by your father when you were 9, it manifests as an alligator.
You dream about growing as tough hide like an alligator, and no one can touch you or hurt you as long as you are the thing that hurts others.
Exactly. What's the most recent dream you had where like you think that it did mean something? There was like meaning you derived from it.
So this is a little sad. I had a dream that you had a heart attack.
That's right.
Yeah, a couple nights ago.
Yeah, because you ran into the bathroom and I was brushing my teeth and gave me a big hug and I was like, "What's wrong?"
Yeah.
And you were like, "I thought you died." And I was like, "I definitely didn't." But
no, I had a dream that you had a heart attack, and I woke up before it was determined whether or not you survived it or not. But
I did.
It was just. It was very scary, you know. Like I think I was with your mom, and we had to rush you to the hospital, or maybe we were by ourselves, and I had to tell your mom. I think that was one of the scary parts too. What made it so scary is like being somebody's partner and like living away from their family and then something bad happening to them, and then being the one to have to tell their family that something bad has happened to you. That is a nightmare in and of itself.
Yeah, definitely. We're talking about nightmares later, but that definitely is a nightmare.
But it was so vivid.
Yeah.
You like experiencing the symptoms and me having to like act fast and call an ambulance.
Well, no, not for anything. Not to like drag it out of you. But what, were we like about to go out and I like dropped to the floor? Like, what happened?
I don't remember. I think we were just at home.
And I just like fell over?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right,
and you started having symptoms.
And I was like, oh, my fucking arm hurts.
You
fall over. Yeah.
No, I think it's just like, you know, I think it was a stress dream, if I can decipher it a little bit.
Right.
I think it was a stress dream.
That's fair.
You know, I was not to be this person, but I was on my period, and you know, when I'm on my period, like my hormones make me stressed out, and my anxiety and like possible depression just like skyrockets. Yeah. Like I'm just, it's actually the worst. And like, I actually hate it so much. So I think during that time, you know, I was just extra worried about, you know, Chill Spot and our futures and our careers. You know, we're really trying, we're at a point in both of our lives where we're both really fed up of like not being paid to do what we love. So we're really trying to make things happen. And I think that extra pressure compounded with my hormones concocted this dream in which the worst possible thing happened, which was losing you. Right. So, because not only are you like the love of my life, but we're also creative partners in a lot of things. And if you were to just one day not be there, a lot of shit that I have going on would fall apart.
That's true.
Yeah. And so my stress just kind of like compounded and just like concocted this terrible situation.
That's interesting though.
For me. Yeah. And it was the worst.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like, I mean, obviously you're right. Everything you said was right. You know what I've noticed about you though? Every time you have a stress dream, it always compounds in losing something you care about. Yeah. You've had stress dreams about your friends. Yeah. You've had stress dreams about Apollo, your cat. Yeah. You've had stress dreams about me. And every time it always compounds into like, this thing left my life. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But I think that actually is
Do I have abandonment issues? Tune into the next episode of the Chill Spot podcast.
When we talk about daddy. No, I think it actually is indicative of the kind of person you are. Like, you're a very compassionate person. You care a lot about the people in your life. So I think that like, when your head's trying to scare you, or when you're like filled, you know, ball full of stress, you know, when you're full of period blood and stress, you know, that's what your brain does to you.
I'm not full of period blood. Okay.
Is it the leaving?
It's leaving me as that's the period part.
Right.
It's all leaving me.
When you're out of period blood.
Exactly.
When you're bone dry. Out of period blood.
Yeah.
No, but it's interesting you say that. I've actually, like, as your partner, like, there's been times, seriously, Sam, where it's like you'll have been like fine for weeks, and then like there's just like 1 week where you're just like
the worst,
shoulders above your head. Not the worst, no, because it's not like I'm like, oh,
no,
get off your fucking period.
No, I mean, like, when I say the worst, I mean like I'm in the worst possible state.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, like,
such a funk.
No, what it is, like, you get very like shoulders up,
yeah,
very, like, metaphorically, and then like very like touchy and defensive, and then like sometimes you'll just like post something to me that you're really worried about, that like out of left field, like nothing to be worried about, but you're like so worried about it. And there's been times in our relationship where I've been like, okay, I'm gonna ask you this, I don't want you to get mad at me.
Yeah.
Are you on your period?
Yeah.
And you'll go like, you'll like check your phone, you're like, I am.
The thing is though, is that realizing that I'm on my period doesn't make it better.
It doesn't
and
help,
that's
really?
the shitty part. It's like, okay, I know that I'm on my period and that like my hormones are like aggravating my already present mental illness, but I just feel like such shit.
Right.
I just feel like shit, and I know why, but it's not helping anymore.
Right.
I feel like shit. I can't explain it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't want to go into it too much because we're talking about dreams. I don't want to make this about my mental illness again. I'm going to leave that in chill spot pass. But yeah,
if you want to learn about Sam's mental illness, you can watch episodes 1 to 40 about the Chill Spot podcast. That was a joke, by the way.
Stop reading me in this episode.
Stop being such an open book, babe.
All right, I'll close up then.
So tell me about your dreams.
No.
They're good.
Yeah.
The library is officially closed,
Fine.
everyone. I'm not gonna make fun of my girlfriend anymore. This is tough for me about dreams with meaning, because like I am of the belief that dreams are random and they come from nowhere specific, because if you look up the study of dreams, no one really knows what part of the brain sends dreams to your face.
I think we do, but I think like why certain dreams look the way that they are is still a psychological mystery.
Well, what I'm saying is that there's a lot of gray area when it comes to like the study of dreams specifically.
Yes.
And with that in mind, there's just very little reason to believe that one thing happens all the way versus the other. So like I'm kind of like with ghosts. It's like, listen, if ghosts turn out to be real, great. If dreams turn out to always mean something, awesome. I just don't think that at the moment. I really just don't think that. But like I've had dreams where like, in a very general sense, like I had dreams like similar to what you just described. Like I'll wake up and realize like, all right, this is something that needs to be dealt with.
Yes.
Like this is like I dreamed about this, and the reason I dreamed about this is because I'm feeling this way about this.
Yeah.
And now that it's affecting me when I'm sleeping,
yes,
I have to do something about it.
I get that all the time when I'm in arguments with people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's anything. Like for me, it's like I'll have dreams about like knowing that I have a hard meeting time the next day.
Yeah.
And I'll have dreams about like looking at my clock and seeing that it's like 40 minutes past that meeting time. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And then I'll wake up and it's like, oh, cool, it's 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. rather.
Yeah, you're
like,
perfectly
and
on time.
everything's fine. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that like like you just described, like my stresses will come into my dreams. I think everyone's stresses come into their dreams when they're really stressed out. But I don't tend to derive a lot of meaning from my dreams unless it's a reoccurring thing. Unless I have like the same dream 5 times. Like same way, it's always about this. I can connect it to a real thought that I'm having when I'm awake, and that's when I'm like, all right, I gotta deal with this. This has to be talked about. I have to talk to someone about this. I have to talk whoever I'm upset with. I have to talk to them. Like like something has to be done.
Yeah,
that's sort of if that's meaning, that's the meaning I derive from it.
Yeah.
I
think that's fair to say. I mean, like what little I have read about dream and dream interpretation is that when you have dreams like that and they're about something that you're dealing with a lot, it's like it's literally on your subconscious. Like it's weighing on more parts of your brain than normal issues are, and that's why it's coming up in your dreams. That's my like armchair psychologist,
like a parasite. Like it's like taking over your subconscious.
So that's definitely real, and I definitely believe that part. But my whole issue is symbolism in dreams. I've looked up what certain things mean in a dream different times in my life, and I've always received different answers,
Well, because again, there's no one definitive thing. There's no one definitive study.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm very scientific about it, where it's like, if you can't reproduce the same results more than once, then it's not factual. So the fact that I can't be told what, like, you know, receiving a necklace in a dream means from more than two or more than one sources means that no one really fucking knows what it means when you receive an object in a dream, or if a certain animal appears in a dream, or, you know, whatever. It's just the sheer lack of being able to reproduce the same answer for me that makes me not. It makes me wary of, like, dream interpreters.
Because it's not scientific.
No.
That's just it. It's an interpretation. It's not a thesis. It's an interpretation.
To me, it's very much like psychics, where it's like, if it makes you feel better to have your dream interpreted by somebody, then go for it.
Yeah, it's like religion.
Know? Yeah, like if...
That was a joke, everybody. I have lots of religious friends. Religion is cool.
You are such a little shit today. You are such a little shit today.
It's because we warmed up. We did a bunch of filming earlier, so I'm just, like, in character.
Yeah. But where was I going with this? Dream interpretations and psychics and all of that stuff. If it makes you feel better, if it brings you comfort, go for it. Yeah. I just don't think it's rooted in any sort of fact. No. It's very rooted in feelings and emotions.
And that's okay.
If
that's the way, that's okay.
But, like, don't try and tell me, like, oh, you gotta go do this thing. It's like, no, that worked for you. I don't think it's gonna work for me so much.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
What's a dream that you had that, like, you could recall to this day? Like a dream you always, like, something that's really stuck with you.
Oh, my God. So I had this one dream one time that really, like, it didn't so much, like, fuck me up, but I was like, whoa, like, what caused that? I had this dream that Leonardo DiCaprio was performing a monologue about death.
Interesting.
In a room that was clearly in the midst of being renovated. You know, those plastic sheets were hanging from the ceilings, and, like, the drywall was up and little, like, white paint splotches were, like, on the walls. Yeah. And there was, like, a couch. It was big
a construction
and it was
site.
White.
Yes.
It was all white.
Like a new office building.
It was like daytime. And it was all white, and there was a big couch in the middle of the room that was draped in, like, canvas to protect it from paint, and Leonardo DiCaprio was standing behind the couch directly in the middle of it, monologuing about death. I don't remember what he was saying exactly, but he was talking about death. And behind him, or, like, around him, sort of, the woman in black, you know, from the movie The Woman in Black,
like the Daniel Radcliffe movie,
was walking around with a parasol and just, like, walking around,
just chilling.
Yeah, she was kind of doing laps around the room.
Yeah, she's vibing, yeah.
Yeah.
Looking for more children to kill?
No, she was walking in this very, like, I can't recreate it here because there's absolutely no room to walk around. But she was, like, walking very pointedly, and she would only walk in, like, she would only turn in, like, 90-degree angles.
Oh,
like,
so
she
it
would, like,
it was robotic.
She would walk, and then take a couple steps, and then take a couple steps, and then stop, and then twirl her parasol around, and then turn on a 90-degree angle, and walk, and walk, and walk, and then turn and face me, twirl her parasol, and then walk again.
Damn.
And like, it wasn't like Leonardo DiCaprio wasn't, like, acting like he knew that she was there, but he was certainly aware that someone else was around while he was, like, performing this monologue.
Did you dream a fucking performance piece?
Yes.
That sounds pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'd go watch that.
I, like, dreamed, like, a site-specific performance.
Like, what's that fucking Macbeth call where they do it in the like, cry no more, sleep no more,
something like
that. Yeah.
Where you, like, follow each.
It looks like something you'd see in that. Like, you walk into, like, it's all, like you just said, like, it's all very rustic and it's construction and, like, the plastic sheets and you know, death slowly circles in as the character monologues about that exact thing. You know, you should put that in the bag.
I mean, it's
actually not a bad idea.
It's always stuck with me.
I can see
also
why.
Like, it's also the contrast, right? Because, like, the room is stark white.
Yeah.
But Leonardo DiCaprio is, like, dressed in black. Not, like, mourning black, but just, like, black.
Right.
Like, casual black. And then the woman in black is, like, obviously, like, fully draped.
Right.
She's got, like, the veil over her and everything. You can't see her face.
I love that movie, sidebar. It's a good movie.
That movie was too scary for me.
Yeah, I remember being really freaked out by it, actually.
Far too scary.
I remember being so freaked out.
So scary.
I saw it in high school. I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
I remember being so freaked out by that movie that when I drove my ex-girlfriend home at the time, on the way back, it was the middle of the night. On the way back, I was scared. In my car.
Yeah.
For, like, no reason. Like, first of all, I'm not going to get attacked by the woman in black the night I saw the movie.
No.
Because, like, why didn't she attack me yesterday?
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, that's always
also,
like...
It's also that thing where it's like, you know, you didn't steal her baby.
Yeah.
So you're not in trouble. You're not in trouble.
I'll have you know, listen, guys, I'll say it right now on the podcast, I said it on Twitter, I say this all the time, I have never stolen someone's baby. All right? I go out of my way to not steal babies.
As not stealing babies.
It's now been recorded. I do not steal babies. Okay. A dream that's always stuck with me, I have two. One was, they're always kind of like freaky, surreal dreams, I've noticed. Yeah. Like, one was I was trapped with a bunch of people, all my closest friends, and you were there, in this like ever-evolving building that we like could not escape. And like every floor like would sort of like trick us into thinking that we have escaped. Mm-hmm. Like, it was almost like Saw, like we kept losing people. Like people kept getting like taken away, or like they'd enter a room and the door would close. And like, you know how dreams go, where it's like, like when they're out of sight, it's out of mind, literally, right? Or like when something jarring happens in a dream, you just go with it. Yeah. You're just like, well, this is my reality at this time, so like whatever. But the most scary part, like the actual like horror movie part, was like, we were like outside and we were all like convinced, like, God, we're outside of this building. Like, we're like, let's go home. And we were walking and like your mom had showed up out of nowhere. I think I actually said this on the podcast before, but your mom had showed up out of nowhere and was like, all right, guys, like follow me. Like, I'll take you home. And then like, I got the feeling, like I just noticed something off about outside. We're like, no guys, we were actually still in the building. Like we're not, like, I know like the sky and the clouds, like we are not outside. We are still in the building. And you were like, but that's my mom. Like, I'm going to go with my mom. And I remember being like so stressed, being like, no, you don't understand. Like if you go with her, like we will never see each other again. Yeah. Like you can't go. And you're like, no, I'm going. Yeah. I'm going. And like you would like walk out. And I remember like being really distressed and like screaming. And then I woke up and I was like, what the fuck was that? Like,
write that one down. Yeah. That's interesting.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a concept that's been like, you know, been done before, but like, yeah, it's an interesting. I mean, this one, okay, guys, I'll give you a little content warning. This next one is violent and it actually made me almost sick to my stomach. Okay. IRL. Okay. It's not a pleasant thing that I'm about to say, okay?
Disturbing.
This content warning. This is going to be disturbing. I had a dream one time where I was parked on a road. There's a couple parts around the neighborhood where I like to park and hang out, especially on a really nice day. It's because my car is very quiet and I like sitting in my car and being quiet.
If you need to get out of the house and have some quiet time. Yeah.
I like to do this. Yeah. I was parked and I was like, all right, time to go. And I put my car in reverse and I had looked in my rearview mirror, and as I started to reverse, a second look in my rearview mirror, there was a little girl there, and I hit her, and I ran her over, and I was like, and like backed my car and like put it into drive, and then as I drove forward, her like bloody ass remains popped up in the rearview mirror, and it was like so vivid and detailed and visceral and gory that I like actually in my dream felt vomit coming from my stomach to my throat. Wow. Like, you know when someone sees like a dead body and you're like a regular ass person, like you're not like a cop or a paramedic, like you throw up, you get sick because your body can't handle that, right? I felt that, woke up, shot straight up, and had to quell real vomit in my bed. Wow. I was drenched in sweat. Wow. And I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, that's insane. What the hell? Yeah. Like, what the fuck, me? Yeah. The hell was that all about?
So Cameron on the record for not stealing babies, but will hit them with his car.
Yes.
And we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Be right
back. Have you ever wanted to hear Cameron rant about Sonic the Hedgehog franchise unhinged and uninterrupted? Or do you want to see me play a puzzle in a Nancy Drew video game and struggle with it even though I've definitely played it before? Well then head on over to twitch.tv/chillspot where we stream 3 times a week for your viewing pleasure and our pain. Back to the podcast.
But yeah, that was a dream that's always stuck with me.
I can imagine.
Because it was far and away the most disturbing dream.
Yeah.
Like, and you have to understand, like, I'm sure as people are listening to this right now, they go, oh, I've had scarier dreams than that. Like, you have to understand that it's not about the fear. It's about how vivid it was.
Yes.
And how, like, 90% of the time...
Fucks you up that your brain can conjure that.
90% of the time, before something awful happens in a dream, you wake up.
Yeah.
But I woke up after the awful thing.
Yeah.
And that is the first time that has ever happened to me.
Yeah.
And that really, it screwed me up.
It fucked you up a little bit.
It ruined my day.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this is recent. This is like in the last year. I like came downstairs to work and I could not get anything done. Yeah. I was fucked up for the whole day.
Have you ever screamed yourself awake?
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh. I remember one time I was, I don't remember the context of the dream,
it's
but
the scariest thing.
I had like screamed in my dream. Cause you ever have dreams where you can't scream?
Yes.
But you need to?
Yep.
So like I've had a dream where it's like, you know, I'll be like, and then like, I'll be like, and ah!
Yeah.
And like, Mom, I remember I did it once when I was napping down here.
Okay.
And Mom was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "What was that?" And I was like, "Oh." It's just like went back to sleep. You ever had,
I don't know.
You ever had dreams where you're falling, and then when you hit the ground, you wake up?
I never hit the ground.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's always like at the height. Cause like, okay, so I've only ever like fallen from like a really big height like once in my life. It's not really falling. I jumped off a diving board at a pool. But
what a height.
No, it was one of the higher ones. Like I was at
like an Olympic diving board.
Yeah, like I was at a recreation complex.
Okay.
I was at I was at
like
a recreation
YMCA.
complex in my town, and there were like 3 levels of diving board. There was like the regular one, and then there was like a middle one, and then there was the really, really high one that wasn't even a diving board. It was just a cement slab that you jump off of.
Yeah.
So I jumped off the middle one, which for what it's worth was already really fucking high.
Right.
So my friends goaded me into doing it. And I had one of those moments where I was like falling, and then I was like, oh shit, I'm really falling.
Right,
and you're like,
right.
you feel out of control because you're like, oh my God, like I can't do anything about this. This is really scary. So my falling dreams tend to have like that reaction in me, and that's when I wake up, when I have that realization that like, oh my God, I'm falling and I can't do anything about this, and I'm going to continue falling through the air.
You lose control. Yeah,
and I'm out of control. Gravity is just having its way with me right now.
Yeah, sure.
So that's when I wake up. It's like, I'm falling. Oh my God, I'm really going through the air right now. And then I wake up.
See, I wish I had that, because I've had dreams where I fall and experience the entire, like I've fallen off cliffs before. I've fallen out of helicopters. Like I have fallen in my dreams.
Yeah.
And every time when I wake up is when I hit the ground and I go in my bed. I swear to God, I'm not kidding.
Wow.
I'll be like,
like you finish the fall in your bed.
Like I've fallen into my bed, and I'm not joking.
Yeah.
That's happened to me on numerous occasions.
Interesting.
And you know, I was talking about how if you wake up and go back to sleep in the morning, we'll call them like morning visceral dreams,
Yeah.
for simplicity's sake.
Yeah.
During
MVDs.
Yeah, really. During a morning visceral dream, I've had things where I'm in a half conscious state and I'll trip in my dream, and then the momentum and the fear of falling will like I'll wake up and I'll be like,
yeah,
and I'll be
you
like,
kind of do one of these.
Yeah, and you're like, I
but in bed.
I gotta get out of bed. It's like, fuck, Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's a great way to wake up and stay awake.
Not
you
really.
certainly don't. My bad.
Destroy your set more, why don't you?
Bobby.
That was a letter from our good friends, the Double Bubs, who have been on our podcast.
I know.
They're really great. You should go follow them at twitch.tv/doublebubs.
What episode like?
Episode 83.
83.
I want to say.
There we go.
But okay, Sam, moving on from that and the dreams that have stuck with you. Have you ever had a full-blown reoccurring dream?
No.
Never?
No.
Really? Never once? You've never had a reoccurring dream once?
I've had a reoccurring nightmare.
Well, okay. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
Talk about that, as a matter of fact. Talk about that.
Sure. So as you all know, I have a proper phobia of snakes, like clinical.
Like, no joke. I mean,
like if I see one, it ruins my day. It affects the way that I move through the world. Like I am scared of snakes.
You have actually called me, and I mean like called me, and Sam never calls me, and that's not shade. Like we just don't talk on the phone often.
Yeah.
You have called me and been like, I saw a snake on Reddit. I saw a snake on Twitter. Like I need you to tell me that it's not real. And I'm like, it's not real.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't believe you. You're like,
yeah.
You're like, no, it's not.
Like, no, it's not enough.
Yeah.
Like you have to I think you actually have to walk me through it and be like, hey, so my feet are, because my thing with that when I see a snake is that I feel like the ground is snakes.
Yes.
And I can't put my feet on the ground. And I have literally balled up in like with my legs in a ball. Until my knees are hurting from being cramped like that for too long. But I can't fucking move because the second I move, I feel like a snake is going to come up and bite me. So, proper phobia of snakes. So, and I've had it since I was a kid. So when I was younger, I had this reoccurring nightmare that snakes were at the end of my bed. And I had to sleep curled up in a ball for weeks on end because I was just terrified that there were snakes at the end of my bed, underneath my sheets, at the end of my bed, writhing and snarling at me and hissing at me, trying to get my toes. And if I push my legs past a certain point, they would get at my toes.
Right. And only I can have Sam's toes.
No.
Please continue. I
had this dream a bunch of nights in a row, and then one night I had a dream that all the snakes slithered out of my door.
Interesting.
And I never had that dream again.
Wow. They literally left. They left you.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And I don't know what made them leave because I didn't do anything. I didn't tell anyone. I had a lot of nightmares as a kid, and it got to the point where my parents were exasperated by me and like didn't make me feel good about having to call them and ask them to like come and get me and if I could sleep in their bed.
More Cindy slander.
Cindy and Terry slander. This was both parents. Not at a certain point, and like for what it's worth, now that I'm an adult, I understand you have to get up for work in the morning, and it's like so fucking often that your kid is crying for help. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I was scared.
Answer me this: was this like every night?
No, it wasn't every night, but it was like at least a couple times a week.
It's pretty annoying.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, especially because like...
And it's like, it's the middle of the night too. So it's like, when you've just been woken up, you're not predisposed to being nice.
No. You're not that way.
You know?
You're like my dog when you're sleeping. Like I the other night, seriously, like small sidebar, like Sam was having a nap and my cousins had come over. And we're like, we were actually gonna order dinner soon. So I was like, I better just wake you up.
Wake you up, yeah.
You know? So I touched you. I was like, Sam?
Yeah.
For those who are listening, I like moved away.
Yeah.
Sam?
You didn't like touch me? You like, because like with Hobbs, you have to like pull at the blanket that she's sitting on.
I like touched the pillow by your head.
You like touched the pillow that I was sleeping on to kind of like jolt me awake.
To gently wake you up as possible because
I am not nice.
No, because like, and this is, again, I'm not trying to shade or read you, but like, if you're not woken up properly, the 2 minutes before you become fully conscious is a crapshoot on what exactly will come out of your mouth.
I have like started fights with my friends at sleepovers before because they were being loud and they woke me up, and I have been so fucking rude. Like so rude. I think I called one of my friends a nasty little troll one time because they were being loud, and I was like, can you be quiet? And they were like, it's like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, well, you don't have to be such a fucking little troll about it. Just shut up. I'm not nice. Yeah, like, I mean, I'm not nice.
And then Sam wasn't invited to sleepovers much later after that.
No. So, I sympathize with my parents about like not being nice when woken up.
Where do you think you got it from?
Exactly. So when I had the snake dream, I didn't tell anyone.
Right.
Because I didn't want to bother anybody with it, because I knew that I was a nuisance at that point. So I just kind of had it until it went away. And I think my brain, I think it got so bad that like my actual like nice part of my brain took over and was like, enough of this, and gave me the snake going away dream so that I would like stop having the nightmare. It blessed you a little bit, yeah. Yeah. It's
just so interesting. Like I think that's great, but I also think that's interesting. Like, it manifested in them leaving.
Yeah.
Like what's the odds of that?
I know.
Like, I just think that's so crazy.
It's like, I remember it too, because like there were like a bunch of snakes, but there was like one cobra that was like the leader of all of the snakes.
Right.
And
he was like, we go, and like he just like left the room.
Yeah. He was like, all right guys, that's enough. And like I remember seeing like and it was like a horde of snakes. It was like Temple of Doom. Like
a fucking ass load of snakes.
Yeah.
Like a why is it gotta always be snakes?
Yeah.
Load of snakes.
Yeah. And they were all like writhing over each other, but this one cobra was just like above the rest of them.
And he was like
put out and like menacing me. And then like all like in the snake going away dream, they all like slithered out the door, and then like the cobra was just like on like up still, and I could see him like like sliding out.
And that cobra,
Albert Einstein.
I'm glad we went to the same place. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And you've never since then, not even once, have had that dream one again.
Not the exact one, no.
That is legit, like your mind manifesting you getting over something.
Yeah.
Not the phobia, of course.
Nope, still terrified.
But the fucking dream, that is crazy. That is so cool to think about.
Isn't it interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my brain literally was like, you have been tortured enough.
Right.
You know? Like the nasty anxiety brain had just been in charge long enough that even its own anxiety brain was like, I'm done.
Right.
I'm done.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
I've had it with
your anxiety brain was upset.
Yeah.
And of course, she's the bitch in charge.
No, it wasn't upset. It was just like, I've run my course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've tortured this little girl enough.
Yeah.
Let's go torture somebody else.
Yeah.
We'll torture her later in life. It's fine.
You know? We'll just bleed into her everyday life and make her think all of her friends hate her.
Yeah, constantly.
Yeah.
It's okay. Everybody thinks that's fine.
Consistently.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You're right. So I actually agree. All of my reoccurring dreams happened when I was younger. Like I mentioned, now that I'm a semi-regular pot smoker, I often don't get dreams. I pretty much only have visceral morning dreams now. If I'm going to dream, it's going to be in the morning. But the recurring dream I did have, and I mentioned this a few times in the podcast because it's like, this kind of thing happens when we talk.
Yeah.
But I used to have a dream.
We're over 100 episodes in. Some things are going to start showing up again.
Yeah, but we're talking about this in depth though. And like, I used to have this dream. It is also a nightmare. I've often realized that most reoccurring dreams tend to be nightmares. Like, what the fuck, man? Give me a break.
I know.
I used to have this dream about me waking up, and it would always, and I was like 6 or 7 at the time, and like, this is like always what would happen. The most common one was I would wake up in my dream, in my room, totally naturalistic. Like, everything looks exactly how it should. I'd get out of my bed, and I'd go, and I was just a little boy, and I'd run down to my parents' room and like open up the bedroom and like walk over to mom's side, and like they have like a really big bed, like even like by adult standards, like they have a giant like fucking bed
size,
and I would jump up on the side and put my feet on like the wooden board because I was just a little boy. I'd have to like climb up. I'd jump up on the side and I'd be like, Mom, can I sleep with you? And they'd be like, no, okay, I'm gonna go back to bed. And I was like, okay. And then this is how I knew it was the dream. I would make this noise with my nose. I would go, and like, it's so weird that that's the signifier, but like, that is always when I knew subconsciously. I would go, and like, get out of bed. And then like a dream, totally uncontrollable, walk back to my room and turn the corner, and fucking Zurg from Buzz Lightyear would be in my room and like scare me.
Yeah.
And I wake up.
I forgot that you were like terrified of Zurg.
I know, it's the thing. That's the scary part. In real life, I have no fear of Zurg. I've never had a fear of Zurg. But he always showed up in my room after that dream. And that specific dream that I just described, I must have had 100 times.
Huh.
Easy. But then, instead of, relieving me, like you did, the dream would get fucking clever about it. I remember one time I was like gonna go play Legos with my older cousin Caitlin and my brother. And you gotta remember that I was like 6 or 7 or 8, like young, and I'd be like, I can't wait to play fucking Legos. It's gonna be great. And Caitlin would be like, okay, go get the box from your room. And I would go, great. And I'd step on the stairs and go, and then the dream would play out. Turn the corner, and then like turn the corner, there's Zurg with his big fucking tennis ball gun. Go, throom, and like shoot me right in the face. That part didn't happen. I always woke up the second I saw him. And like, but like, it got to the point where it was annoying. Like, I was just like,
what the fuck, Zurg?
The Zurg dream? Again?
And Zurg's like, what? I don't know. Like, I gotta, I don't know. I gotta deal with this.
I used to have 2 other reoccurring dreams, actually. So I've had 3 in my life. The second one is I'd be sleeping in the floor of my brother's room. And for those who don't know, my brother's room has like a staircase. There's like a small like 2-step staircase to get out of the room. So I'd be sleeping on the ground, and then like with my head oriented where I could see out the door down the hall to my parents' room. And my parents' room would there'd be like a flash of light behind the door, like a boo, and like there'd be like a visible like change to the door, and then like the door would like open up and a big Chinese dragon would fly out down the hall.
But also so scary.
Well, when you're 9. Like you're like, you wake up. And the last one, this I think is genuinely the scariest one. I used to get really freaked out by noises in my house, and it doesn't help that I live in the noisiest house ever. To the point where it's like my uncle and you, after you both started sleeping here more often, were like, there's a lot of fucking creaks and aches in this house. You know that? Like a lot. And like me and mom and dad have been sleeping in this house for me, like 26 years. So like, I'm so used to it. There's nothing I can hear in this house that'll freak me out anymore. But when I was a kid, it was every fucking night. You hear like a chair dragging, and you're like, no one's downstairs. But what would happen is that I would get freaked out by noise, and my heart rate would go up, and my heart rate sounded like a train chugging. You go, you know, right? So then I would be like transported to this dream world where I'd be like still in my bed, and I'd be in this like square room. Very like child's idea of like a room, like a single window.
Like a perfect square.
And on either side of my bed on the wall would be dark doors that are open that you can see out, but it's like it's a pitch black. And in the middle of my room, connecting both doors and like extending out into both ways, is a train track. And the dream happened all the time, where it would just be the sound of a train getting louder,
right?
And it never came.
Eerie.
Just
And like because the train tracks are going through your room, that it's possible that a train could come through.
Yeah.
But it never comes.
But it never came.
Wow.
I think that's a metaphor for anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, talk about dreams having meaning.
Yeah.
Is that not just like
I could see
exactly what that is?
I can see that. You're like, there's danger present, and I can sense that it's coming, but it's not here.
And when I was a kid, I loved Thomas the Tank Engine. And, Thomas the Tank Engine is awesome and cute. Like, I love his design. But when you're a kid and you're freaked out, like, you're like, oh God, if this train shows up and it has a big creepy smiley face on it, I might die and never wake up.
I might pass away today.
Yeah. So I would freak myself out like that.
Yeah.
I used to be really scared of like noises and creaks in the house. Like, so scared of all that.
Well, when you're a kid, your imagination is so active.
Yeah.
So active. Like, I remember once as a kid, like, willing the shadows on my wall to like look like people talking to each other. Like, I made the mouth move.
Yep.
It's so overactive. So
and I was
totally
a really imaginative kid too, growing up. Like, I used to play with my pencils in schools, much to the dismay of every teacher I've ever had.
Yeah.
And like, how lead pencils, like these ones, they all have different color brackets.
Yeah.
Every color represented a character.
Okay.
And I would actually like play with them. Instead of paying attention.
Action figures.
Yeah. But like, my imagination would essentially be like, I'm holding a pencil, but like, this is this character.
Yeah.
This is this person.
Yeah.
Right. And imagine that when it's trying to scare you. It's effective.
It's very effective. Yeah.
No wonder later in life.
If it can make you really happy and occupy you when you're awake, imagine when you're asleep.
No kidding.
And you can't do anything.
No wonder later in life I want to like write horror a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Have you ever had a dream passed on to you?
No. What? So
my mom had this bad dream one time that we were that a tornado was coming, and we were in like a cellar, like an old timey like storm cellar, and she told me that like I had to like get out, like I wanted to go get something, but the tornado was coming, so she wanted me to like stay. She's like, no, like don't leave, just leave it, just like whatever. I think I wanted to get like Kitty and Bunny, like my stuffed animals, important, but like you really should leave them in a tornado if your house is about to get blown to bits.
Right.
So but I was like, no, I want to go, and she couldn't keep me, so I left, and the dream ended before she could find out what happened to me, but I like left in the middle of a tornado to go and like get Kitty and Bunny. And I had the same dream, but in reverse.
Where you
that my mom wanted to go get something from the house, and we were in a storm cellar. And she had to go leave. And she left in the middle of a tornado, and I was like scared that something bad was going to happen to her.
Have you ever told her that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and she was like, what? It happened so... It's weird, because like she told me about it, and it stuck with me. But I had the dream like months later.
Interesting.
So I was like, do you remember that dream? And she was like, no. And I was like, okay, well, I did, and I had the same dream.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
I've never had that.
Yeah.
I mean, that must just have to do with like she told you about it, it was subconscious, and then it came back out.
Yeah.
But yeah. We'll talk about the rest of the podcast in a minute. Hey, did you know that I'm an independent artist? I only talk about it all the time. You can follow me on social media at Cameron Draws. I do cheap commissions and cool characters. Come follow and hang out. Back to the podcast. All right, before we wrap up this podcast, Sam, I wanted to do something.
Sure.
I wanted to talk about the meaning of dreams. I thought it'd be fun to Google some of the dreams that we've had.
Sure.
Not specifically. Like, we should break them down to simplicity's terms. Sure. Like, I'm sure if I Google, what does Zurg from Buzz Lightyear mean in a dream, I might not get many answers.
Yeah.
But, like, being ambushed in a dream, like, that obviously means something.
Sure.
Or, like, it might mean something.
I think it'd be interesting to find out what a Chinese dragon means.
That's another one we could Google for sure.
Especially from a white boy.
Because, no kidding. Early on, baby. I haven't even seen a single episode of Naruto.
It was the weeb ghost infecting you.
Which, granted, is all Japanese and not Chinese, but, like, I digress.
Yeah.
Anyway, something I really wanted to look up. So I didn't mention this, but a dream that I often have, it's not so often that it's reoccurring, but I often have, is one of two things. I'll be dreaming that I'm packing and I can't finish packing.
Right.
And that we need to leave.
Right.
Which I think everybody has.
I have heard that dream before.
It's very common.
The packing dream, yeah.
And
that's an anxiety dream, actually.
100%. I know that for sure. Like, because I've Googled what it looks up, and it often means you're anxious about something.
Yeah.
And I've also had dreams about tidal waves.
Okay.
Which means the same thing.
Yeah.
Impending doom.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
It's all anxious,
Out of your
right?
control, yeah.
I've actually had the packing and the tidal wave dream at the same time.
You're packing to escape a
The
tidal wave?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's fun.
Oh my god.
But I've actually had the dream where like the tidal wave hits and like nothing happens, but it just keeps happening. Where like it's like, whoa! It's like you're in a wave pool, right? But then but you're in a dream, right? So you just start packing again.
Yeah.
You're like, here it comes. You're like, oh!
Wow.
Oh, this is fun. Where's my charger? You know, like it's just like freak the fuck out.
Nature's wave pool.
Okay, so let's break down one of your dreams. If you could simplify one of the dreams you've described in this podcast into a Googleable sentence, what would it be?
Snakes in a dream.
What do snakes mean in a dream?
Yeah,
Okay.
what do snakes mean in a dream?
What do snakes mean in a dream? According to...
There's a picture of a snake on there. I don't want to see
Yeah, I'll hold it like this.
Yeah.
According to The Cut, which is just like the first thing that pops up on Google.
Okay.
According to the professional dream analyst and author Laurie Quinn Lowenberg, snakes, a common dream archetype, typically represents a person in the dreamer's life who exhibits low, dirty, toxic, or poisonous behavior.
Right, because snakes.
However, this can also represent something related to health or healing, which also coincides with your dream leaving you.
Right.
Maybe you came a little less anxious that day.
I must have been mad anxious as a kid then, because I'm still a very anxious person.
Well, see that. Okay, here's the flaw. We're talking about the dreams meaning something. Here's the flawed logic of this, right? You dreamed of snakes because you have a phobia of snakes. Your snakes didn't show up in your dream inadvertently.
No.
They did it because you have a phobia of snakes.
Yeah.
So the application that like there's someone in your life who is toxic or poisonous, well, isn't like untrue. I'm sure there was a handful of people in your life who maybe were a little toxic or poisonous. Everyone has one.
Why are they writhing around at the bottom of my bed though?
That's what I mean.
Like,
I'm gonna Google this.
and it's also like, okay, so my other thing my issue that I have with that, so like snakes being associated with like health and healing.
Yeah.
That's a symbol that we decided, right? Because remember the pharmacy symbol, you know, the two snakes like wrapped around a staff or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a thing that we made up.
Right.
Human beings made that up.
Right,
Snakes
right.
don't actually, I don't know, I'm not going to say snakes don't actually wrap around a staff or anything like that, but like snakes don't have anything to do with health. It's just a symbol that we came up with to explain things to ourselves.
Yeah.
So like, I don't even believe that necessarily, because it's a symbol based off of something that humans came up with all
Right,
on their own. It's not
right.
something that's physically present in nature.
Sure, okay,
You know,
yeah.
sure, snakes and, you know, snake byproducts are used in some medical areas, but so is like, I don't know, the glands from a beaver's anus. I don't
Sure.
fucking know.
Yeah,
like
whatever.
lots of stuff in nature is used for health purposes.
The medical symbol of Canada is actually a beaver's asshole.
yeah, exactly. So like, this is bullshit.
Right.
I don't buy that
That's
at all.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All of this is
It's so
bullshit. That's why it's
baseless.
fun to talk about.
Yeah.
So I used to have a dream, again, like, see, I don't often think about my dreams. I used to have a dream where, like, I would be in a golf course or something and, like, 50 alligators would show up
Okay.
and just get too close, right?
Yeah.
I've had this dream at least 3 or 4 times. So I Googled, what do alligators mean when they show up in dreams? According to thepleasantdream.com, it means, when you dream about alligators, it means strength, courage, individuality, protection, and a sense of identity and wisdom. Symbolically, these fierce reptiles are symbols of manifesting inner power and unleashing hidden instincts and wisdoms.
So you were really fucking strong then if 50 of them showed up.
I guess so.
On a golf course?
Well, but here, how about this
White
then?
privilege, very strong.
Well, how about this? We'll try to keep it to the same website. This is from The Cut.
Okay.
Basically, dream alligators may represent the jerks in your life, poking their sinister eyes up from the depths of your subconscious and challenging you to do something about it already.
Okay, so it means strength and courage in one source and then jerks and assholes in another.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about.
doesn't-
Like, you
there's
go
no-
to another source and you find a completely contrasting reason for, like, the thing in your dream and
Yeah.
why it exists. So, like, make up your fucking mind, dream interpreters.
Right. So, okay. Yeah, first and foremost, I totally agree. This is why I think dream science is nonsense.
Yeah.
Because you can Google
Science.
50 fucking websites and get 9
Nothing.
different answers.
Nothing.
Here, let me see if I can find The Cut.
A lot of it is also rooted in like spiritualism too. Like a lot of dream sites cite indigenous lore in like their reasons as to like what certain things mean in dreams, and like I don't trust how a white person interprets indigenous lore. They're
Sure.
like, oh well, you know, like such and such a tribe interprets like an eagle meaning this, and I'm like,
Listen,
What's
dude,
your source?
all you need to remember
source?
is that the word they used when they talk about dreams is interpretation.
Yeah.
It's not a thesis.
Yeah.
It's not something scientific. It's an
Yeah.
interpretation.
Yeah.
Right? Which means that it could be anything.
Yeah.
It's allowed to be anything.
Exactly.
Which is why you should take it with a grain of salt.
So open-ended.
So I Googled what does being attacked in a dream mean? Because like I would often have that Zerg dream where I was attacked.
Yeah.
Dreams about being attacked, according to wellbeing.com, often relate to feelings of your own vulnerability. While they may be disturbing to experience, attack dreams are often exploring sources of pain or control in order to be released from it. Attack dreams can often represent the way we symbolically attack ourselves. And that's interesting to think about because I've opened up on the podcast before about how when I was younger, I often felt, by default, ashamed of myself.
Yeah.
I often felt like, I wasn't being who I should be, which is this, like, kid who likes to go outside. Like, all of my family is this way, and I was just never that way. Mm-hmm. So, like, that lines up.
Okay.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's not...
And, like, you said that one time you had the dream where your cousin told you to go get the Legos because you were going to play Legos, which is something you liked to do.
Yeah.
So as you were going to do something that you enjoyed, you got attacked.
And which means that like it could mean that I'm ashamed of indulging in something like that.
Yeah.
And that shame has since budded into self-confidence issues. So there's great. If you like the Chill Spot podcast, you could donate to us so Cameron can go to therapy. Well, here, I want to...
Why do we make money if not to just go to therapy?
I mean, that's the plan, no?
Yeah. I want money to go to therapy, please. But that's interesting. Interesting that it manifested itself in Zerg.
Right?
Yeah.
It was because I know why.
What a thing.
Well, I know why, right? Because, I loved Buzz Lightyear as a kid. Mm-hmm. I loved Toy Story, and I specifically loved the Buzz Lightyear cartoon about, like, the adventure, the Federation Force, how the fuck it was called.
Yeah.
Like,
Space
Force, which they're actually doing a movie of. They're doing a straight-up Buzz Lightyear movie where he's not a toy.
No, it's about the person that Buzz Lightyear was based on.
And I think Chris Evans is going to voice Buzz Lightyear.
He is.
Which might be a rumor. I don't know.
No, it's true.
They confirmed?
No, he confirmed it on his Instagram.
And I want to see that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Real bad.
He says, and like he admitted, he was like, I know, I get it. I was suspicious of it too, but when they pitched it to me at Disney, like I was all in. You're in for such a treat.
So I've Googled. So yes, I want to see this movie, and I hope they do it exactly like the cartoon. Like it has all the characters. Like I really hope they do all that. What does a Chinese dragon mean in dreams?
There you go.
This is not going to line up at all. A dragon, according to labexcortex.com.
Who is that?
I don't know, but this is just like straight up dragons. I don't know if it's about like Chinese dragons specifically. A dragon is considered a symbol of power and also destruction, which lines up considering that it destroyed my house when in my dream. According to Chinese mythology, a black dragon in dreams, which was not black, symbolizes fortune and wealth in your waking life. A black dragon also means you will gain strength in the days to come. So maybe I grew up a little bit that day, when I had that dream 50 times.
Yeah. I think you'd be better off actually searching up like what the Chinese dragon itself like actually symbolizes,
right? And
then deciding it based off of there, because it sounds like when they say black dragon, I think they're thinking of like a dragon like Smaug.
No, it did say Chinese dragon in the description just now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't listening.
I could tell.
Stop being mean to me.
Start listening. Yeah, so again, I decided to take your advice. And the Chinese zodiac dragon, which is the commonly described Chinese dragon, is, imperial power, authority, good luck.
Yeah, dragons are very good luck in Chinese lore.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's do another one of your dreams. Like, what's another one we could Google?
Oh, my God. I mean, like, I think about the Leonardo DiCaprio death dream, but it's like, I don't know how to describe that. Like, death?
What does a lady in black in dreams mean?
Sure.
Let's see. Dream about a lady in a black dress.
Oh.
www.dreamaboutmeaning.com.
Dream about meaning.
Okay, let me see here. This is pretty long. Dream about This is going to be good. Dream about lady in black dress expresses your ability to make the best of everything that comes your way. Something or someone is preventing you from achieving your goals. You have gained the approval of those around you. Your dream is a metaphor for passion and intensity. You are entering a new phase of your life, a new job, relationship, etc. Lady in black dream means your willingness to let people in and share your life with others. You are plunging into something. You are keeping certain things hidden. This dream is sometimes coolness. I'm gonna try that sentence one more time. This dream is sometimes coolness. I was really hoping for one of these. You have
like broken English sentences.
You have put up an emotional wall around you. So that was like 9 things.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And none of them coincide with one another. It's all bullshit, man.
Yeah.
The fuck?
I mean, like, I can definitely see how one person would be like, cool. It means that, like, I need to be more vulnerable and let people in more because I actually have great ideas and I'm a good person.
Yeah.
But it was just so disconnected that I'm like, I don't trust this. I don't trust this at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, it was in a dream specifically about death.
Yeah.
The topic was stated in the dream. So how could it be about coolness or being at like a transitional moment in my life? That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
That doesn't make an ounce of sense.
What does Leonardo DiCaprio mean?
In a dream?
Mean in dreams.
It means I'm horny.
Yeah, it means I kind of want to sit on Leo's face.
Yeah.
Is there actually? Oh my God, no way. According to dreamencyclopedia.net, there is a page on Leonardo DiCaprio dreams.
Specifically?
Oh, I hope this loads. Please load. I gotta read this. Holy ads. I'm gonna get a virus. Oh my God.
You will risk a Trojan horse.
I literally can't even click it because it brings me to like I'm on a porn page.
Oh, right.
No, I can't even go back.
Oh,
Look.
you're the millionth visitor.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I can't even get off the page.
Wow.
So that'll remain a mystery, I guess.
I'm sure it's just like somebody being like, Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, hot man, shirtless.
That's exactly
beach
what it is.
pic.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio, shirtless, beach pic, water gun, beach model, man, hot man, haircut. like a Wish ad.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. You know,
Leonardo DiCaprio, man, attractive male actor, actors, actresses,
Exactly.
Oscar nominated, Revenant, bear, haircut, blonde, man, beach, bathing suit, picture, beach man.
And then a live Jasmine ad in the corner where she's like, "You wanna fuck me?"
Yeah.
And then it's like way louder than anything on your computer. You're like, Jesus, fuck! I was looking about dreams, Jesus!
Your mom's like, what's going on down there? You're like, I'm researching dreams. She's like, why do I have a virus? I was like, I'm researching dreams.
You know what it is? You know what it is?
I didn't do anything.
You're actually more embarrassed about researching dreams. You're like, I'm watching porn! Like, no, we didn't even talk. We're going to end the episode, but we didn't even talk about sex dreams.
I don't really have sex dreams.
I've had a handful of them. They're often not very satisfying.
No.
They usually get interrupted. And it's usually something stupid, right? It's always like someone really hot or like someone who like, I guess at some point in my life, like I wanted to have sex with or whatever. Sometimes it's completely random. Yeah. Sometimes it's someone I've never met before. They'll be like, oh yeah, baby, like, we're gonna fucking do it. And I'm like, great, let me get the condoms. And then like I go outside to get the condoms and then the dream goes off the rails. And like now I never get back to the sex.
Yeah, so your own brain cuckolds you.
Very often, yeah. There's been times where I've woken up from a sex dream and been like, no, I want to go back. I want to go back. I want to go back to bed. You know, and you try to like, you know, ride the momentum a little bit, but you're like, you know, a morning wood boner isn't like an aroused erection.
Yeah.
So it's the same as me just being like, fuck, stupid.
Whatever.
It's dumb and wake up now. Guess I'll go drink some fucking tea or something. It's bullshit. But I've mentioned this in the podcast before, but the person that comes to mind that I'm like willing to admit that I've had like sex dreams about is Marissa Tomei.
That's right. I remember you told me and I was like, good job.
Right? Yeah. I still feel good about it.
Yeah.
To this day. I'm like, you know what? You know
that
what?
was nice.
That's a badge on my chest. Right?
Yeah.
It'll never happen in real life.
Yeah.
Because I would never cheat on you. And I don't have Marissa Tomei's contact information. Like, we're never going to talk.
Also, like, I say this as somebody who is very much in the same boat as you. Marissa Tomei doesn't want to have sex with you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know who I am. And if she did, she probably wouldn't want to have sex with me.
She wouldn't want to have sex with me either, which is why I say that.
Exactly.
But, like, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, not getting that call anytime soon.
But yeah. Well, this has been a great episode of the Chill Spot Podcast, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah.
And come back next week and we'll do it all again.
Exactly. Be sure to subscribe and like and all that crap, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, Sam and Cam here. Thank you so much for listening to this latest episode of the Chill Spot Podcast. But we have one more favor to ask of you. Could you leave us a review? It helps us out so much. As Cameron always said, podcasts live or die by word of mouth. So if the platform that you're listening to us on allows for reviews, give us a little cheeky 5 stars or a thumbs up and let everybody know how fantastic the Chill Spot Podcast really is. Thank you so much.
Bye.